So we were going to get to the nerdy stuff later, but let's start with the nerdy stuff now.
Hold on. I got one more to up both of you. You ready? Got the new one.
Whoa. Okay.
We're so thrilled to welcome our guest for the show. He's the one and only Patrick Stone.
Whoa!
What's up, Patrick?
What's up?
Josh, kid, what's up?
Man, we're so excited. This is very exciting for us. We've been definitely looking forward to this one. And I think just to start out, we wanted to know, how was your show last night?
Yeah.
It was totally sick, man. It was like one of those things where we were the opening slot. So, you know, you're walking in and you're setting up and sound check's over and there's nobody in there. And you're like, oh, all right, I'm just going to mosey out onto the stage. And then it was full when we walked on stage. So that's always exciting. All of our friends, just recognizing so many faces. Matt Pinfield showed up to introduce us. So it was a really cool kind of a homecoming. It was our first hometown show in a long time. And we all went to the Rainbow afterwards. And it just feels good. You know, it was great. It was cool.
Oh, amazing. Amazing.
Good to hear. Feel good story, right? Finally back on the road a little bit nowadays. We're starting to sink back in. That's great news.
Josh, I just want to be quiet for a little while and listen to you talk because that voice is like, you know.
Absolutely. Oh, I read bedtime stories. It's
do you do any like voiceovers for like villains and cartoons and stuff?
It's only villains. It's only villains and pigs. I only sell really shady insurance too. I never do like, or once in a while I'll get like a Walt Disney Pictures brings to you a wild ride of a lifetime, a summer adventure with the boys from Budderside, back again to tear through the night. Rated R. He's like,
You're hired.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Thank you.
This is why we like having Josh around, because like a lot of the times we'll like find out our guest fandoms and we'll be like, okay, you're a Harry Potter guy. We'll be like, Josh, introduce the show as Snape. And I mean, it just is. It's incredible.
Hell yeah.
Or Star Wars, we'll do Palpatine, we'll do Michael Caine, we'll do, you know what I mean? He said, wait a minute.
Okay, it's begun.
I mean, I'll get my blade now. If I need to go get it, it's over there. I have a
Sure.
Well, we will definitely.
You've been dared. Oh, there he goes.
Oh, see you later. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm trying to get to my tattoos. Let's see. I got my little Death Star right
what do you
there.
Got?
I got the Death Star.
What?
And then on my arm.
Oh.
Wow. I think his is bigger than mine. Wow.
It's not about the size of the saber.
You have a Death Star tattoo. Will you marry me? What do you got?
Ow, that should hurt really bad. Anyway, so this is.
Oh my gosh,
I love
we're
it.
so nerding out right now. This is awesome.
This is what we do. I mean, so we were going to get to the nerdy stuff later, but let's start with the nerdy stuff now.
Hold on. I got one more to up both of you. You ready? Got the new one.
Whoa. Okay.
Whoa. Right.
Okay.
He
pulled the dark saber. He pulled out the dark saber.
I love it. Okay, so the question is, what Star Wars film would you say is the most overrated, and which film do you think deserves more credit than it actually gets?
The first one definitely deserves all of the credit. A New Hope, I think. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't know. I saw that when I was just such a little kid, you know, and it's like the whole story with the droids. It just seemed such a great story to it, you know. All of the rest of them kind of. I mean, Empire Strikes Back was just like phenomenal, but I'm a nut when it comes to this stuff. You know what I mean? You can't get me to say anything bad about it at all. Any of them. I love all of them. It's just like. People start talking shit and like, you know, I'll start slapping people because it's just like, you know, you're talking about my family. I don't know. I feel like it's just it's such a part, you know? So I mean, overrated. I don't know. If there were any of them that was a little overrated, I would say maybe The Last Jedi was a little bit pushed, you know, but still great. It's just part of the, you know, if you give me anything, I'm just happy that we're getting more. I remember there's just years there where it's like, there was nothing, and all you could do was live off of what you'd already been given so long ago. And it was just like, that was still enough to get me through. And then when they came out with this whole new burst of stuff, I was just like, a total kid in a candy store, you know?
Right. And like, so I haven't had the chance to go yet. Because I know you're on the West Coast. I'm over in Miami, closer to the Orlando park, but I haven't had the chance yet to go to the new Star Wars ride. What is it called? Escape from I don't know.
I love where this interview is gone already.
Oh yeah, sorry.
That's how we run on the show. This is why the show is amazing. This is what we do.
Yeah, you know what's funny is so COVID hit and all that stuff, and they shut down California. California has to be the strictest state of all. So it's like I didn't get to go and do the Rise of Skywalker until I went to Florida to visit my brother. He lives in Florida. So I went out there and we went, it was like 15% capacity. They let us in. So it was like the lines were like 10 minutes long for every ride, and we got to finally do the Rise of Skywalker.
Now, Rise of the Resistance, right?
Rise of the Resistance, yeah.
It's half of the experience in that ride is kind of the queue, is waiting and getting up into it, isn't it? A little bit without spoilers for those who maybe haven't been on it. A lot of it is when you kind of at the atmospheric element too, when you're walking through these, you know, these halls of a Star Destroyer, like what's about to happen to me?
Yeah,
you know?
it's like I feel like I have to pee the whole time I'm in line.
Are there bathrooms on the Star Destroyer? I don't know if that's like a thing, but okay. No,
there's the new hotel.
Yes.
You know, they can just go right in their suits and then those things on their back.
So convenient. So convenient. Seriously, where's my suit? But our friends over at Otaku Fest want to kind of know your view on the ever so controversial Jar Jar Binks.
I love Jar Jar, and I love how they keep kind of expanding his character and like, you know, giving you hints that like maybe he was part of Crimson Dawn, and that like maybe he's got underlying story behind him, some back trail motivation, some evil plot that's twisting, and like, you know, maybe we'll never find out, maybe we will, but I mean, you know, it's always cool how, you know, Lucas brings these you know, these funny characters in, so it just kind of distracts you from like how serious it might get if you were watching like, say, a Star Trek movie, you know what I mean? Like it kind of keeps you laughing, you know, like Marvel.
That's a good point.
They do a really great job.
It keeps it whimsical, right? Yeah, it keeps it whimsical and still warm, a little bit warm, even though it will be rough around the edges. That's a good point, you know, because it's true. Like you think about it, I always joke about how George Lucas he's like selling it. It's a children's story, you know, a bunch of a man's body being burned in a volcano, cut in half, and then it's like it's a children's tale about Trade Federation embargo disputes. You're like, okay, I enjoy it. Like, you had to throw in some elements to make it work for the kids, but I always thought of Jar Jar as, I never hated him the way people hated him.
Yeah.
I thought he was irritating, but I was like, man, I don't understand the vitriol behind this guy. Like, there's a couple clips on YouTube of people have re-edited a scene in The Phantom Menace when he falls over a waterfall, right, and he dies. And they're like, that's the end. He's never seen it yet. Like,
I've never seen that.
You've never seen it?
No.
Yeah.
Jude, we'll have Jude try and look for that before the end of the episode, and we'll try and pull that footage for you. The death of Jar Jar Binks from the waterfall.
Haters are gonna hate, you know what I mean? That was like the first time they had like an interaction with like a human being and like a CGI character, right? Like green screen, blue screen. Like he was like, you know, he was at the head of that whole. He was the spearhead of blue, like CGI, blue screen, green screen technology back then. So just to see somebody interacting with a character that wasn't really there was phenomenal work. You know what I mean? You got to take your hat off to those guys.
Ahmed Best was the actor who did that. We'll just name drop him real quick right there, and yeah, just what you said, Patrick. Like, what a skill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was at a convention last weekend with Hayden Christensen, and I know that they're getting ready to do this new, it's him and Ewan, right? About Obi-Wan and him becoming
Kenobi.
Kenobi. So that'll be fun. We have content to look forward to. Yay.
I'm excited for that.
Cadet, falling in love with you as we speak.
Oh, I love you too.
There's a beautiful girl talking about Star Wars. What's going on?
He's like, and this man with his nice warm voice, he's like, oh, I can fall asleep happy right now.
Welcome. Okay, one more thing to nerd out to before we go into like some more music stuff, because we will talk about music. We also kind of read in an interview that your first words were to the Batman theme, and so we need to know, who is your Batman?
Oof, all of them. My brother and his friend Matt would run around the backyard chasing each other, dressed up in costumes and with the toys, and they were always singing "na na 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 Batman." So that's when I was on the blanket, and I was like, "Na na 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 Batman." That was my first word. So again, with Batman, you can't go wrong. I mean, I love Michael Keaton. I think that Christian Bale was my favorite. You know what I mean? That Batman, The Dark Knight. Oh my God! Like, there's just, I mean, every time it comes on, it's just like everything else stops. I'm just like, there it is. I gotta watch this.
Yeah.
So good, you know.
Josh, how's your Bane?
Terrible.
Bane?
It's not a good.
You
It's
don't
not a
have
good one.
Bane?
It's not a good Bane.
Okay.
And I've told you my Batman too is I'm like a Val Kilmer guy. That was my Batman.
Okay.
I love them all too, but like the Batman Forever, like I was like I think I may have been like 15 or 14 when it came out. So I was just stoked that it was a fun time. I'll have to go to the movie theater. I'll just leave it like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to
I may have made out for the first time.
Well, in the Batman movie. Right?
To the Batman movie.
Right.
Okay.
The new one, the Justice League, is sick too, though. The best Batman line ever was like, "What's your superpower?" And he's like, "I'm rich." You know, that's so cool.
And accurate. Yes.
The Batfleck. Yeah, dude. He wasn't terrible. I didn't mind Ben as the Batman. Why not?
Yeah,
he had a good big.
Like, shut up.
Yeah, he had a good chin for it. It's all about the chin. You got to have a chin to play Batman, right?
For sure. And I'm excited for Robert Pattinson. We'll see if he can go from Twilight, from vampire to Batman. I think it's going to be great.
That's right. That's coming down the pipeline quicker than we know.
Next year. We still got some time. But all right, Patrick, let's talk music. So we wanted to mention your new single Voices off your new album, Spiritual Violence. So it was recently released. What was the process of putting out your most recent album? It's very exciting, and we really enjoyed the single.
The video, by the way, is incredible for the single Voices too. It's really, really, really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. We spare no energy in creating videos. We love to put everything we have into them. So we went all the way up to Lake Tahoe to film that one.
Tahoe, okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah, very cool. And then all of the special effects were done over in London. So again, it's like kind of like a worldwide joint effort. You know what I mean? We're beginning to really branch out and find the right people for projects. The Pardon Me video from Spiritual Violence was done by a guy over in Argentina. I think, yeah, right. Yeah, he's in Argentina. Great artist. He did the lyric video for Voices too, which is equally as phenomenal. It's kicking some ass on YouTube. So is the Voices video. Spiritual Violence we released back in March, and it was such a labor of love. It took so long to get it out because I really did a huge transformation with the band. I got all new band members. I found basically, you know, the band of my dreams. I finally got, you know. And it's been a long time coming, and you know, I've suffered through years and years of drug addiction, and I don't know if that really fed into some bad decisions, but like, you know, I've been like an ox climbing my way to the top inch by inch, and now I've really got a band that I think is worth the effort, you know, worth your time. They're just phenomenal musicians. So we had to dodge some legal hurdles to get over in order to get Spiritual Violence out, but we finally got that out in March, and now we're focused on all of this new material that I'm writing with the band. Everybody's 110%. Each member is writing just as much as the other guy. We've been working with this guy Matt Good out in Tempe, Arizona, and he's just phenomenal, man. He just did the Ice Nine Kills stuff, Asking Alexandria, Gemini Syndrome, all these are in the top 10 rock charts. So we've got a heavy mindset on like getting us to that place as well. So it's a whole new sound, a whole new vibe, and I'm just super excited about it. We're going to be slamming you with another new single, I think October 15th, and then another brand new video will follow for that song on October 29th, right before Halloween, and it's got a whole I don't want to give too much away, but I mean, we're just going to keep topping ourselves. Just watch. We just keep breaking our backs to give you more and more and better and better. So I hope you're excited for it and ready for it, and I hope you want to see it.
That is so awesome. And one of the things I thought was really cool was like when I posted on my Instagram that I was, Josh and I were doing this interview with you today. I had so many people reach out to me, just like literally singing your praises. One of them, Maddie Riley, who's the bassist for Avril Lavigne, who he says he knows you from Whiskey, and also Ace Van Johnson from LA Guns, who I wanted him to join the stream today, but he couldn't jump on to surprise you. But just, so many people are like so excited for your band and what's to come, and Josh and I are equally excited. It's really cool.
I'm glad to hear you say that the sound, because it sounds great. You know what I mean? The new sound, it sounds awesome. So I'm stoked for everything that's coming, man.
Yeah, super grateful. I mean, like, as a songwriter myself, I would do everything pretty much myself up until this point. And, the songs just really had, it just really my stamp on it. And I've always wanted a little bit more of a, a collaborative, you know what I mean? I want guys that like we feed off one another.
100%.
And, that's finally happening. And their musicianship just tops anything. I mean, I've been practicing and playing my whole life, but these guys they have that magic thing. And I'm glad that they feel the same way about my singing and my songwriting, my lyrics, you know what I mean? And that's now where I really just want to focus on that. Can I just be a fucking singer? I don't want to do anything else.
Right. Yeah.
These guys are
the answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
So what did you talk about? I heard you say it. What is the whiskey? What is your favorite thing about such a legendary, venue? What is your favorite thing about the legendary Whiskey Go?
The first thing I always think about when I hear that name, I can't help it, is Jim Morrison like climbing the walls. Talk about Val Kilmer. What a killer job he did. I remember I used to take acid every day and watch that movie over and over again. I was just like, it's like I wanted to be him. You know what I mean? And it was always like, it's always in my head that like, dude, if I just play the whiskey, some record label's gonna walk up and they're gonna sign me, and I'm gonna be like, they're gonna be like, come down off the rafters, Mr. Morrison, Mr. Stone, let's make a record. And I'll be like, okay, cool. And there it was, fucking we're playing at Lemmy's birthday party, his 70th. And he was up there in his throne. They brought this big chair for him, and he's sitting up there, and we were just getting like the vibe that he was going to sign us. And, I'm looking up there and I'm playing some Johnny Cash, and he just goes, like that. And I was just like, this is like the Morrison moment. I'm standing on the same stage as Jim did,
Yeah.
And it's just, it's funny. You mentioned like these guys like Ace and these, famous musicians and stuff. It's just like, there's always been like kind of like the separation thing. Like I want to make it, you know what I mean? And now I'm kind of looking around like everybody I know is doing phenomenal things, which is great. You always want to surround yourself with people that are outdoing you, so that makes you want to be better. And I just so blessed to be able to play a place like that. I mean, Rocklahoma, that was even, I don't know which is better, but I hope to be playing like, I'll always go back and play the Whiskey. It's just such a great place, such a great family there. They treat us like family,
Yeah. And you mentioned Whiskey, and of course you mentioned Rainbow Room, and we were going to get to it a little bit later, but since you already brought up Lemmy, I think we would be remiss if we didn't just talk about his impact on everybody. I did an interview for Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, and I know Lemmy had such a huge impact on his career. Literally, like just it's overwhelming. And for Josh and I, we're wrestling fans, and so Lemmy has sung some of the greatest wrestling themes in the world for Triple H, for Evolution. But obviously you have a very personal and special relationship. But what was it like for you the first time that you met the magical Lemmy?
Loud. It was loud. It was me, and we were doing some shady shit back in the day, you know what I mean? And that's exactly why I got invited over to the studio. And there I am walking in like and it was just loud. They were rehearsing over at this place. They had like starving musicians or what was it? It was like a moving company, and they had this lockout, and those guys were loaning them this basically like a public storage unit, and they had all of their gear in there, and it was fucking, you could hear it from Highland and Vine practically, and you're like, what? It was just so loud. So that was like the first experience. But yeah, talk about like, you'd be at Lemmy's place, and there'd be a knock at the door, and it's Ozzy, I'm stuck, I need to write some more lyrics,
That's a bad.
And then here's And then I'm sitting on the tour bus with Lemmy, and he's like, I'm working on these lyrics, you know, and he'd hand me a sheet of lyrics, and I'm like, yeah, they're fucking great. Like, what do you want me to say? You know, just super magical. I'm so grateful. I mean, I just fell in love with the right person, really, at the time. This girl was just super tight with him. They were like best friends, and I started dating her, and then she kind of just, you know, wove me into the fabric, and yeah, what a cool part of the, I mean, a lot of chapters, but you know, a few chapters out of the book of my life, definitely dedicated to that. And every chapter will tie in, you know. It was kind of the coolest thing ever. It wasn't like one of these glitzy, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It was just, I don't know. It's unreal. It's unreal.
You mentioned that they were like rehearsing just like or just testing the gear rather in like a storage facility, you know.
Yeah, no, they were full blown rehearsal, but they had all of their own shit. So they just they just took over like this huge room. It wasn't even like it was like part of it was like a public storage place down on Santa Monica and like Highland. And it was what was the name of the damn moving company? It was like, oh man, it's this big truck that's been sitting there for years, but it was right behind there, and it was just this huge like hallway entrance to this place, and the reverb, you know, such a big place. It wasn't made for music, and it was just you know,
loud. Cool. Yes. Wow. Yeah. Have you heard any of like the stuff that he's done for like the WWE? Have you heard any of his wrestling stuff? Yeah. So good. Yeah, I mean, like
time to play the game.
Oh.
Time to play the game.
I'm playing.
And I know you can't take it. Try and run me down. He can't. He's fucking incredible. You know,
amazing. Like. Wow. Anyway, okay. Where can we circle back to, Josh? What do you think?
Oh man, I mean, I'm wondering when Lemmy and the band would like prefer to record. Patrick, when do you prefer to record, like studio wise? Are you like a daytime guy, or are you like middle of the night guy? When are you guys recording? What time of the day?
I love when the producer tells me what to do, to be honest with you.
Perfect. You know, gives you I like that too. You have a schedule. You're like, I need to be productive at 6 o'clock. I'll be ready.
Yeah, no, like the guy we just worked with, I love that he's pushing us to like do stuff that like we didn't even know we could do. You know what I mean? He pushes you beyond your limits, and it's a morning thing. You know, it's like where we get together probably 9-10 a.m. in the morning, and we go till the afternoon, and you know, it's like It's a work day. And once you're in there and the music starts, you know, when it's really good, you forget where you are, what time it is, and to be honest, you don't ever want to leave. You know what I mean? It starts feeling so cool, and it's just so. God, like the possibilities of like, you know, what emotions and stuff you might tug at on people when they listen to this stuff, and just the whole thing is just really magical. So any time of day to work with, you know, really people that are really, really good at what they do, and people that are going to push me to get the best out of me. You know, you never know. Like maybe 7 a.m. is the best. Maybe I'm going to crack a note that sounds cooler than something, you know, that I'll be like, no, I'll wait till 11:30 when I'm comfortable. I'm going to a super high note and impress everybody, and instead the producer goes, no dude, you need to be like half asleep and like in so much pain, you know what I mean? Now sing, and you're like,
now sing.
That's it, you know?
Well, let me ask you, because like I think we can agree nine's early, like, and especially like your voice, like the aerobics that your voice can do is outstanding, right? Your range is like wow. So before you do record, do you do any type of like vocal warm up, or are you just able to get in there at 9 a.m. You're like, let's go? What's your process?
Hell no. At 9 a.m. I'm like, do guitars. I've got to go get some tea. Yeah, no, it's sometimes it's up to an hour. I have this wonderful coach. He taught Chris Cornell. He taught Pavarotti. He teaches Miles. Axel. I mean, he'll fly out and see Katy Perry to get her voice back in shape. His name is Ron Anderson. Any vocalist out there that wants to be a great singer, even if you suck, you go see this guy, you're going to walk out a professional in the first lesson. He's so bomb. He's got this magic elixir that can really bring your swelling down in your throats. He's just got every trick.
Is this the Korean or the Chinese one in the bottle?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I forget the name of it. I know I'm very familiar with that stuff.
I'm
I'm
intrigued.
not going to give away his secret, but if
Okay.
you DM me, I might tell you where you can get it cheaper than he sells it. But no, but seriously, like without the elixir, he's magic. He just knows what the hell's going on. He knows where every muscle is in there. I had no idea there were muscles in there before. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have landed the gig with Steven Adler and been able to sing Guns N' Roses songs, 14 songs in 2 years. So there is a ritual, and he gives me, you know, every time you upgrade your lessons, your warm-ups become a little bit more intense, and it enables you to really kind of peak out your voice to your range just increases every lesson. And it does take me a good, usually about 25, 30 minutes worth of warm-ups before I'm ready to even approach a mic. And I don't want to get up to it because you'll damage your voice. You'll throw it out if you go for a note and you're not, what does he say? He says, if the machine's not running right, nothing's going to work right. So it's like, you've got to get your motor running correctly. And there's a whole thing with the diaphragm and working from down in your, down in your gut and not in your gut. Sorry. Down in, I don't even want to say it.
Yeah.
You're down here. You're working
Yeah.
literally like, you're working from down here, which is great. It's a lot of, anyway, there's a lot of work that goes into it. Yes.
It definitely is, because I mean the last thing that you want to do, and it unfortunately happens to so many singers, is get a tear in your vocal cords or vocal nodules. It just it's so unfortunate. But
I love this voice talk as a fellow voice person. Clearly, I'm not as much of a singer, but I do a lot of stressful. Like I said, I literally play villains and stuff like this, and there's a process. Megatron. Roadhog, the big character I'm known for, he's literally like, this is his voice. So it's like, right? So when I drive to the studio sessions, 8:30, 9 a.m. is really early for me. So I got to get up for my voice, not for like me, but for my voice. So I'm getting up, a hot drink, room temp water, and I'm on the freeway screaming at my steering wheel, getting warmed up on the way to the studio. And I'm wondering if these people are looking at me like, what is he doing? I'm just
record yourself next time, Josh. That's something we want to see.
Oh God, my guys catch me with the Instagram stories all the time, and I'm doing my me. I sound like a dying cat. Somebody stepping on.
Oh yeah, I remember like one of my favorite ones that we used to do was like, "Mommy made me mash my M&Ms," and I was like, well, I don't get it, but it helps. Like it really does. Even even the silly ones. But okay, let's say that we're gonna have a biopic based on your life and your band. What would the genre of the film be?
Quentin Tarantino would have to do it.
Okay.
First. Yeah.
I mean, he's...
What
I'm already
amazing.
He'd have to, because it's just this collaboration of like madness and comedy and like seeing that side, like to have that perspective, you know what I mean? I think that's kind of what genre is he?
Action, thriller? I don't know.
He's considered like it's almost like Cinerama, like everything's filmed in
spaghetti
wide
western?
vision, spaghetti western meets old noir Hollywood, right? Like I don't know, retro.
He's Quentin.
He's Tarantino. It's his own genre, kind of in a sense, right? So 100%. Mixed with old like martial arts movies too, like you throw that in there too. There's a lot of martial arts.
Exactly. I mean, there's all of that when it comes to like, I think that would be cool, and not afraid to like give it a like some kind of a, the way he titles things in the middle of like a cartoon, like an old Batman movie. You know what I mean? The bam or whatever he puts in there, like, and just like his spin, his whole like kind of, again, his perspective on just like. These 6 stories that he tells, and there's murder and there's sex and there's comedy all just wrapped into one. It's so twisted, and I think that's, if you were to view our group thread, the band has a group thread together, and the comedy that goes back and forth, the sickness, and like just like we're not afraid to talk to each other and say what we really feel. It's haunting, it's horrific, and it's hilarious at the same time. You know what I mean? I wake up every day and there's, you know, there's like 100 messages, you know, that like if you leave your phone alone for an hour, we're back and forth 100 messages before you look at it. You know, you got to stay on top of it, and then you got to.
You're behind all the inside jokes. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sometimes one guy's going off about like this girl that just is like, you know, she's stalking him or something, and then the next second we're talking about, you know, just you know, whatever, the pandemic or whatever, and just our views on everything. It's just really twisted and demented, and the way it comes across is kind of funny. So Tarantino would have to be the guy, I think.
Okay. Do you have a, I mean, okay, I always hate saying favorite because it's so hard to usually pick a favorite, but is there a Tarantino movie that if you're sitting down, you're like, this is the one I want to watch?
Yeah, Pulp Fiction, probably. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I watch all of them, you know, anytime I see it on the screen, it's just like, oh, that's, you know, it's like it's just, if you're searching for something to watch, it's like, it's always going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the hardest one to watch has got to be The Hateful Eight for me, because I like The Hateful Eight, but it's such a slow moving film compared to the other ones. It's so long, you know. I was watching that, maybe because I was watching it the other night. It's fresh in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, anything Christoph Waltz he's a genius.
Yeah, Django was great too, right? Or what's the Inglourious Bastards too? It's just
Inglourious Bastards.
That's probably my favorite one. I had to like go through that between that and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Because I really love that one.
Right. See, it's like there's just every one of them are great. Kind of
Reservoir Dogs. The ear scene.
Yeah. Like, there you go.
I know. Oh man. Well, okay. So we have a game, but Patrick, before we get into the game, Eric wanted to know if there was any tour plans for Budderside in the works.
In the works, definitely. COVID's definitely kind of put like a let's plan this really carefully kind of a vibe on everything. And again, with the revamping of the band, we're really excited to kind of take our time to focus on really giving the world a lot of content that really represents us in the best way. So we're getting very creative. Again, we've got 8 songs down, all produced by that amazing guy who did voices. So we've just got this whole new vibe that we're kind of trying to convey to all of our fans that we have so far, and we're trying to really branch out into some new ones, because I think we've really broke into a new genre, and we're looking forward to really working with a lot of bands touring that we've only dreamed of thus far. So so we're kind of going to wait. We're going to get our numbers up. We do have some shows here and there. We're playing Las Vegas at Vamped, a couple shows in December. Japan keeps knocking on our door. We have a tour plan for Osaka and Tokyo. Yeah, we met up with some people when we went out there to do the Zen video, to you know, and all that started that whole thing. So we're excited to do that. We do have an agent that's hitting the ground and getting us some festivals and stuff like that. But as far as like a 3-month run, which is what we really want, we're holding out for that, you know, that time when, you know, buyers and stuff, they're all looking at your numbers on Spotify and stuff like that now. We've really got a good connection with a lot of people that are putting us in front of the right people to get those numbers up, and they're starting to climb. So, you know, those numbers are going to help you get on better tours. So that's what we're looking forward to doing. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, we look forward to it as well. That is very exciting, and
super exciting.
Please make a stop. I'm sorry, Miami is kind of right now, but when it gets better, please come to Miami. We welcome you.
Hell yeah, Miami.
Come on down.
I love Miami.
305. Well, okay, Patrick, we have a game. This is a game of Would You Rather. There is no wrong answers. Whatever you feel is correct for you is the correct answer. So, Josh, do you want to read the first one?
Absolutely. Let's take us in.
Okay.
Would you rather, Patrick, go back in time and collab with Chris Cornell, or go back in time and collab with Scott Weiland?
Wow, dude. Are you kidding? That's the hardest question ever.
It is, yes. And these are going to be very difficult. So, yeah, these are not easy.
Oh my God, I can't, dude. You can't. You can't.
Okay.
I'd rather shoot myself to decide this. This is crazy.
Is it called like a mulligan? Like, you don't have
take
to
a mulligan.
pick.
That's fair.
Yeah, we'll take a mulligan. Take a mulligan? Both.
Thanks for giving me the real deep one first. Appreciate that.
No, it's really important.
Appreciate that. Production. Thank you.
I would have to almost choose Scott, only because Scott would be like, artistically, I think that I would get something that I've never you know, I think that he would like, it would be like taking music to a level that I never imagined. And working with Chris, I feel like it might be like, I would just feel totally bummed out that like his voice is so much better than mine. So, but like, I mean, I listen to Chris sometimes from the second I wake up to the second I go to sleep. Sometimes I'll listen to him all fucking day, and just every song just grabs me and twists me and pulls me, and I just want more and more and more. And so it's like I would die to have that opportunity, and yet I cried all day, probably for a day and a half, when Scott died. He was just such a huge influence and one of my favorites again. But like his harmonies and the stuff he does with music is kind of like, I don't know, it's like it's kind of in a direction that like I haven't been, you know. At the same time, I've tried to be, but anyway, maybe I would pick Scott. And I'd try to get him sober, probably. Or if we were on the other side, maybe I'd get high with him, or maybe you're already high when you get there. I don't know. That's weird. But yeah, back in time. I'm sorry, the question was back in time. So yeah. So yeah, I would be maybe afraid to be with Scott, because we'd probably end up just doing heroin all day together. So
okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Hey, okay, we appreciate it. All right, here's the next
one. Might lead to great music. I don't know.
Hopefully this one's a little easier, but probably not. Okay. Would you rather? Yeah, these are all hard. I apologize. God, this one sucks too. Would you rather never be able to listen to music from the 70s or never be able to listen to music from the 80s? Oh God. Yeah, this is.
Wow.
I know. We got to reformat these so they're less depressing. Would you rather lose your left arm or your right arm?
Exactly. Yeah. In this case, yeah. Geez, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, wow. I mean, you've got like all of that early AC/DC in the 70s. I would probably have to say, I mean, the 80s take me back to like, you know, there's this nostalgia that happens when you listen to the 80s music, but like, I think the 70s really influenced even the 90s and present day music more than the 80s ever did. I think the 80s, I would have to say the 80s, even though there's so much great music that came out of the 80s.
Yeah, it's a hard one. All right, so we're saying bye to the 80s. All right,
I guess.
All right, if you had to. All right, Josh, next one.
All right, would you rather have your eyes peeled open for or have your eardrum shot out with a blowgun? No. Would you rather watch your least favorite movie for 24 hours straight, or listen to your least favorite song for 24 hours straight? So Clockwork Orange torture, or in a dark room torture with your
I think I would listen to my least favorite song for 24 hours, you know.
Okay.
Being strapped up in your eye, because you have to listen to it.
This graphic is severely threatening too. Like this.
I could listen and I could do other things, you know. So I'd say listen to the least favorite song.
Okay, fair. See, you talked.
You could close your eyes at least.
Yeah. Right. Or, you know, you could work on things, or you could find something good about. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Again,
all right. Here.
Great questions. Great tough questions here.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're not getting any easier. Okay. Would you rather keep sucking? Perform with the last band you paid to see live, or perform with the first band you ever saw live?
Wow. Who did I see last? I can't think of who I saw last. The last band I paid to see live. So the last band I paid to see live was Lars's Kids. He's got these kids. One of them plays bass like Cliff Burton, and his other son plays the drums like Dave Grohl. And it's badass. It's really badass. And you know what I said while I was watching this band was, I said, man, I'd like to sing for this band, you know, even if it's just for a few hours. So that's a cool question that came up. So I would rather perform with, I have to look up their damn names, slap me. Sorry, Lars, you know. But I went with Matt Pinfield. He took me. He was like, Lars's kids are playing. Let's go see him. So we went and we saw him. And I was like right up front. I watched him, and that's exactly what it is. Like Cliff Burton playing the bass, and it's like Dave Grohl's on the drums. It's just this high energy. And I thought to myself, man, I want to sing for these guys, just for, even if it's just a jam. So I think it would be them. My first band I ever paid to see live was the Steve Miller Band.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, super cool.
Ooh.
Super cool experience. I think that was like the first time I ever smoked weed too. It was like on the Shoreline Amphitheater lawn, and I was just like,
oh yeah,
you're like half the Steve Miller Band.
That's some Bay Area legend shit right there. Yeah, yeah. Are you like a NorCal native too, Patrick? Or
I am. Yes, sir.
Okay, I grew up in the Bay Area too. So I grew up in like Dublin, East Bay Area, San Ramon, Dublin. I grew up right there, East Bay Area.
Saratoga, Los Gatos, Chuckahowley, bro.
Dude, that's what's up, bro.
You're
hella cool. We must have the same time. We must make some hella cool.
Yeah, man. Redwood trees, beaches, Wow.
Yeah, you mentioned Tahoe over there. I was like, oh, that's some NorCal shit right there. Only even NorCal.
Yeah, that's where we go to ski and snowboard and stuff.
Heavenly and Squaw Valley, all the good stuff.
Taipei,
Squaw
Houston. Taipei, Houston.
Valley, we were in Squaw Valley once. My buddy had a cabin there. We'd spend Christmases up there. And Walt Disney had this whole, remember right next to Squaw Valley, there was all of this land that was like fenced off, owned by Walt Disney. And out in the middle of the field was this tiny little cabin. I mean, it was like a 1-bedroom cabin. And the windows were open, and it was Walt Disney's place where he would go to get away from it all. And you could look through the windows and you'd see the portraits that he was drawing of Mickey Mouse like through the windows. Super cool.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What a cool story. Oh.
Yeah, that is awesome. Patrick, was the band called Taipei, Houston? Someone's putting that in the chat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's who it is. Right. Yes.
There it is.
Thank you, Jose.
What a cool name. Taipei, Houston. I love it.
Yeah.
It's almost as cool as the name is Budderside.
So close.
Almost.
It's almost there. It's so close. All right, we got a couple more. We're going to try to rapid fire so we can get you to where you need to be, Patrick. All right, next one, Josh.
Okay, Patrick, if you had to switch careers, would you rather be a magician or a dog whisperer?
Man, I don't know. Some people have told me I have that magician vibe,
The magician hand, okay.
No, I would not want to be a magician. No. No. I love animals, so I would definitely want to be a dog whisperer, yes.
It was a hard no in the magic life. A hard no.
Yeah. Unless you're like Chris Angel level, it's still, even that, I can't, no.
I feel like, dude, you could a magician is still at the end of the day full of shit. If you were a legit dog whisperer, you could help a lot of people.
Right.
And I love magicians.
So. I mean, yeah, dogs are awesome. So.
They are better than people usually. All right. I think we got 2 more of these. These are tough. Okay. Would you rather, I'm so sorry, go back and be in person for Nirvana Unplugged, or go back and be in person for Live Aid?
Oh, Live Aid for sure.
Okay.
Freddie Mercury, are you kidding?
Yeah, the Mercury set would have been.
I would get up on, if I was there, I would have gotten up on stage and just been like.
I know.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. And lastly, I think I know the answer to this. We'll end with this. This is a good one.
No disrespect to Kurt. I mean, that's a tough one, but yeah, Live Aid for sure.
You get a lot more, there's just, yeah. All right. Last one, Josh, take it home. Last
one. Would you rather spend a month living in the Old West or spend a month living on the Death Star? There it is again. I was going to ask you to bring it out again. Wow. I don't have mine anymore now. This isn't cool. Now I feel left out.
As you should, Josh. As you should.
Let me use the Force.
Yeah.
But okay, Death Star it is. Well,
Death Star it is for sure.
Good choice. Patrick, this has been so much fun. Thank you for nerding out and talking music with us. I mean, we really appreciate your time.
This is my favorite interview ever. This was great. No, seriously, this is so cool. I'm going to share it everywhere, as much as I can. This was so much fun. You guys,
if you haven't seen it, check it out. Budderside Voices, brand new single, brand new video out now on YouTube and all music platforms. You can stream it on Spotify and other platforms as well. Patrick, we can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for coming out to visit with us.
Thank you. Let's meet up in person someday. Definitely.
Yes,
Love to.
Yes.
Love
well,
to.
before we let you go, we're going to go over our upcoming guests real quick because we know we got to let you go. So let's see what we got going on. So next week, we have Lee Ehrenberg from Pirates of the Caribbean and also Seinfeld, which I'm...
Hello, puppet.
The following Tuesday, we have Jonathan Magnum, who's from Let's Make a Deal and Whose Line Is It Anyway? And then we have a special bonus Thursday show with Brian O'Halloran. And the week after, we got some Power Rangers. We got the Pink Power Ranger, Yellow Power Ranger. And then next month, we're ending it off with Bayside. So very excited. Yeah.
So cool.
And Patrick will do this again sometime, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. Hell yes. Let's do it.
Hell yeah. Bring the dark saber.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much to everyone watching. Thank you to Patrick. And we will see you guys all next week. Be safe, everybody. Bye.
These are not the droids you're looking for.